Hi guys, I hope that everybody's doing well. Welcome to the channel. This is going to be a general reading. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm seeing that something is taking some time. There's been a bit of progression, but you may be like, wow, this is really taking forever. When are things gonna get moving? Maybe this is taking a bit longer than you thought, or maybe you're just in a space right now where you know that what you're doing, you may not be right up at the end, but that something is happening and things are going on, and yeah, the timing of it may not be preferable for you. However, I'm seeing you be at a point where you know something is happening, or you have a feeling that something is happening, or you're even in a space where you're like, I'm in an in-between right now, and I know we're going somewhere, we just may not be there yet, and I may not know exactly when we're going to get there yet. I was seeing the Justice card and the Seven of Swords. There may be something where you're trying to figure out like the right thing to do within a situation, or the best way to do it. You could even feel like somebody acted in a way that was like sort of unjust, maybe unfair. You feel, you're like, well, I wouldn't do that. Something like this. We're looking at an ending here. Okay, so the beautiful thing about the Ten of Swords, us starting off with the Ten of Swords, is that this looks like whatever has happened or whatever has been happening, if you are still going through this, you're at the tail end of it. So it's not about what happened leading up to this, it's about like where we are right now. So if we pull all of our energy into the present moment, there's pain that you may still be feeling about how things ended. You're at a spot where you may feel a little bit pressed. For some of you, pressed for time is what I'm hearing. And I'm seeing you be at a spot where it seems like this is kind of solidified enough to maybe let it go. Like we have validated this enough to the point where I'm seeing something kind of, it needed to turn to stone, meaning, again, like it felt like it needed to be like seen, recognized, validated, and now we can let it go. And so now you can shift out of that space. But it seems like right now you're at a point where it's like that in-between of, okay, so the pain has been felt, the ending has been accepted, we're in the midst of moving forward, but you may feel kind of like you're in a bit of a transient state with this. Kind of between two worlds when it comes to this situation. The Art of Letting Go is what I'm hearing. That sounds like a book title or something. I'm not familiar with what that is, but that's what's coming through. I actually wonder. Hold on. We're going to look this up and see. Okay. The Art of Letting Go. It looks like there are a bunch of books that are titled this. I'm seeing an audiobook. It's also in song lyrics, so yeah, okay. We get the point. Let's keep going. But that's the challenge right now. The challenge is like, if you're holding on to something and you're walking along and you're like, wow, it's really heavy, dragging this thing behind me. It's like this lack of acceptance for how things are going, or this anger, or even if it's justified too, and don't we feel it always is. I'm seeing you be in a spot where you're like, it's just so heavy to be carrying this and it's unnecessary and I don't need to be, and so why am I? So looks like you're going to be letting go of something, because why hold on to it? Becoming quite the professional at this too, it seems. Yeah, I'm hearing it again, the art of letting go. That feels very official. Maybe even at this point you're like, I've been through similar cycles to this so many times that I do feel like a professional at this. It's like I'm walking away. I get like a moving sort of energy. I'm walking away, and at this point I know exactly what needs to be done. I've gotten so good at this. I know exactly what I'm doing. It may not make it easier per se in a moment. However, in this afterwards cleanup, I'm seeing you be in a spot where you're like, I've learned so much through doing this that I've kind of like even mastered this process of, oh, I experienced something and it's painful. And maybe it doesn't feel like it was totally in my control or my choice how things went, because I'm seeing you still feel like, why did it need to be like that? Why did it need to end like that? Like, it could have ended maybe in a different way. You could be at a point where you're like, if I had total control over this situation, maybe I would have done it differently, or I would have moved the pieces around differently, organized it differently, made something different about the ending. But at the same time, I'm seeing you be in a spot where you're like, well, I can't do anything about that, and I'm moving on anyway. And so I'm getting to the point where I'm like, it's better for me to focus on what I'm doing. And I'm seeing there be a shift now. Like, rather than you keeping your focus on that ending, that nothing is going to be like prosperous in focusing on that, I'm seeing you shifting your perspective to like, long term, what am I going to be doing? So you walk away from the ending and the attachment to the ending, and walk into the Emperor energy, which is you thinking about your future and thinking about the plans that you're making and thinking about what you do have control over and what's going to be happening in the future for you and what you're presently participating in as well. The life that you want to create, your legacy, like, why am I here? What is my purpose? For some of you, there were friends or something socially that were involved in this that you're also going to be let go of. These could have been like people or a person that you've been hanging out with. It looks more friendly or more platonic. Friendly or platonic. This doesn't look romantic. I mean, for some of you it can be, but for the majority of you, I'm seeing that this would be more of like a social thing. Yes, I'm getting this strongly. For some of you, you could have even worked with some of these people. Okay. Confirmed. All right. The more you're releasing this, the more you are holding on to your present and your future. There may also be something that you had been kind of building that you're moving away from simultaneously to kind of like build elsewhere. It's like, I had this plot of land and I was building a castle here, and now I just have to leave that where it is and I have to move elsewhere. And this gives you the opportunity to like build a new structure, to create something else, and maybe something that you feel like would be better fitting for you and where you are currently. This process may have also asked you to kind of step it up. It's interesting because you're leaning into your divine masculine. All of us have divine masculine. All of us have divine feminine. It doesn't matter what gender you do or don't identify with. There's a focus here on your divine masculine energy, which means I'm going to create structure and organization and think about what I'm doing and create order and build while also recognizing what I don't have control over. So this can be letting go of something where like you didn't have control, where you may have preferred to have control, and being like, I can't fix that, or I can't do anything with that. Like, I'm just meant to be moving away from that. I'm not meant to do anything with this anymore. Whatever this ending is, it's about walking away from it. That's the only relationship that you have to that now. It's about truly moving on. And I'm seeing you be at a space where maybe you had preferred to be like more dominant within a situation, within your life, within maybe a relationship or multiple relationships, whatever this was for you. And I'm seeing you get to a point where you're learning like what that divine masculine truly is for you, because it's not about controlling, it's not about micromanaging, it's not about like you having the final say or dominating a conversation. It's about you being in a space where you're recognizing that just as much as you do have control in certain situations, there are also many other things that you don't have control over. So it's about you co-creating. So in some ways, this is even like deprogramming toxic masculine energy. Interesting, we're going in this direction. So yeah, you know how some people will kind of like lose their cool when they're not in control in a moment? You could have really been feeling that like aggression and anger and like righteousness and feeling all of those things for this situation. And again, as much as it may be justified, it's not going to do anything for you. You know, that's not how you get free. And I'm seeing you be at a place where you're like, man, why am I holding on to this anymore? I can let go of it. And this does feel like a seasoned energy. I get the feeling that you've been through things like this many times before, to the point where you're like, I could write the script now for this because of how many times I've experienced. I kind of know exactly like all of the pieces and where they go as far as this type of karmic cycle. I've done it so many times. And so I'm seeing you kind of like having this rebirth of your divine masculine energy through this experience, of your Mars energy, of your Aries energy, of your first house energy. So this is you really stepping into, for some of you, I'm hearing your North Node. You're really going to feel an emphasis on your ascendant. You're really going to feel emphasis on your Mars energy too. These are all your masculine energies. Okay, let's keep going. But yeah, I'm seeing like a rebirth sort of energy here with the Emperor. And you really shedding your skin, because I'm also seeing there may be some things that you're letting go of that you could have been like tying yourself to. Like, I need to look like this. I need to act like this. This is how I'm supposed to own this situation, this conversation also. And I'm seeing you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to have to dress up like this anymore. I want to be able to let go of that. It's like holding all of this armor feels so very heavy. And I'm seeing you kind of slip into something more comfortable. Slipping into something more comfortable, because I'm seeing the Emperor in this situation be like heavily guarded and kind of wearing all of this armor and this suit, and it's kind of like, I need to face the world in this brave way, while maybe sometimes bypassing the other feelings that I'm having, or like I don't want to disappoint my parents or like my spouse or my partner or my kids or whatever it is, or myself. And I'm seeing you get to a point where it's like this feels like a costume at some point, and I'm seeing you be in a space where you're like, I just want to wear like my original outfit here, if we can even call it that, because it just seems like you getting back into your organic form. And I'm seeing you be at a point where, because you're allowing yourself to let go of this stiffness, you are feeling like this is how you reconnect with yourself and who you truly are, and you're feeling more like yourself than you had been feeling, and maybe you hadn't even realized that until now. It's like this has really allowed you to, I'm hearing, to shed something superficial. And that's why this feels so good, even if we did start in a spot where it's so painful, because it's the shedding of the skin, and it's like, I'm losing this part of me. And then in recognizing, in dissolving that identification with whatever that is, you're truly allowing yourself to take shape and take form as you actually are. Very profound. It seems like you've been having more time to think about things too, like maybe more of a resting period, or at least you may be like resting more deeply, or there may be something that you're doing like meditation or breath work, or something like therapeutically related, or like healing, connected to healing. You could also be getting a break from something that was maybe bringing some like pressure, stress, chaos. It seems like this is the beginning of a cycle that's going to feel much more fitting to you. Just looking at Aries and Aquarius here. Okay. So what happened with this ending for you, and why it may be hard to let it go? It does feel like you would have felt there was some sort of injustice, like, why'd you have to do me like that, is what this feels like. The way that somebody acted, it's like this could have been maybe a nice ending and you had to like go and treat it like that. I'm seeing something that, like, the reason this feels so hurtful is because I'm seeing there be an emotional connection between like you and whoever this is, whomever this is that you had this ending with. And so that's why it hurts, because it can be a situation where it's like, I thought that we were friends, or I thought that we knew each other better than that, or I thought that like we respected each other more than that, so like why did it need to be like that? So it's feeling that somebody was maybe like colder or not supportive with you, or that they weren't thinking about you as like a unit. It was like us versus them type of situation with the Five of Swords. But I'm seeing that again, like, rather than you focusing on that, because it really just seems like you're leaving that energy behind. Whatever this energetic connection was, you're going to feel lighter and better off because you're moving away from it. And I think like once you get far enough away, you are going to feel a sense of relief. Even if that's not what you're feeling right now, you are going to be feeling that. And I'm seeing this also gave you an opportunity to really take accountability and take responsibility in a way where maybe you didn't have that option before. Because I'm seeing with this Emperor energy, this could have really given you the opportunity to step into an energy where you're like, I'm being responsible, I'm taking care of myself, I'm providing for myself in this way, I'm setting things up, I'm organizing this, and you feel kind of like you're fathering yourself through this process and stepping up in a way and being that person for yourself. There's definitely this, like, I am guiding myself within my own divine masculine energy, and so I'm recognizing that I don't need to find that elsewhere because I have it within me. And this opportunity is something that's really activated this for you, and that's why this feels so important. And I'm seeing also that this new chapter for you, this new direction that you're going in, you may be doing something maybe a bit differently than you had been doing before, or there's something that you're going to be exploring that you're like, wow, I'm really good at that. That maybe you hadn't been making use of before. I am strongly seeing this connected with your Mars energy. Let's get two more. So you could be like doing something more officially. For some of you, this can even be like a creative direction that you're going in, or there's some things that you are passionate about that you may be doing in a more serious, organized type of way. I'm seeing also that there may be like other friends that you're meeting, or a friend group, or there are new people that you're meeting. Something like that, where, or just people that you are connecting with socially, or like friends that you're hanging out with, stuff like that. I'm seeing this is going to feel like a social time for you, where you may like really feel, you may feel the support that you do have around you rather than the support that you don't have. Because when you were going through this ending, it may have emphasized to you, because you were going through that, like, wow, I really don't have support in this situation. However, I'm seeing that like everything, you know, it's two sides of the same coin. In this situation, you would have seen like, wow, I really don't feel the support. But on the other side of this, I'm seeing there be an emphasis on the support that you do have then. So I'm seeing that come to light for you as well. Like, these people are my friends, or this is my community, or this is somebody that I can rely on, stuff like that. You may also be feeling like some anxiety too, maybe even physically for you. I'm definitely feeling like a jittery sort of energy, but maybe it's just like with like the moving and the new stuff that's happening, like the transition. But yeah, for some of you, you may like get a little bit of social anxiety. I'm feeling that too. Could also be excitement. I guess it just depends on how you channel it. Okay, yeah, there is something new that you're doing, absolutely. I'm seeing too that by you letting go of whatever this was, I'm hearing unfair treatment. Yes, that's being confirmed, okay. By you letting go of this unfair treatment, I'm seeing that it really gives you the opportunity to feel more unity within your life. Because if you're going around like carrying this chip on your shoulder, it's going to be like a contagion that you take on, but this is your opportunity to really like deflect that energy and not take it on. So you don't need to like sink down to that lower vibration of how somebody was interacting with you, and you can just let that be that other person's energy, and you can be staying consistent within this vibration where you are now, because I'm seeing something that feels really good to you and has the potential to be maintained if you choose to. I'm also seeing that it looks like there's something new that you're starting that you feel like really intrigued and excited about. And I'm seeing the Fool being involved, so this really feels like a new chapter, and it feels like anything is possible. Really. I'm seeing the Page of Wands, the Fool, and also the Magician here, which is like, this is a new chapter and I can create this, I can make this out to be anything that I want it to be, and I have all of the opportunities here, and I have everything that I need to do that. And if you catch yourself getting rigid, you want to find the flexibility within it. That's definitely going to be a friend to you within this situation, okay? So we're looking at Aries, Aquarius. I'm hearing Neptune very strongly, Uranus, and Mercury. For some of you, you may have an Aquarius Mercury. Alright, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody. I saw 2255 when I looked up. We are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for connecting. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.